Are you guys looking for wireless CarPlay on your Ram 1500, 2500, 3500 truck, your 4th gen Ram? I installed this stereo. I'm going to show you guys how to install it, any quirks, any pros, cons. Doesn't matter if you have this type of stereo or you've got the other one where it's got the 3 knobs. If you've got the automatic climate or the manual climate, you can get the same stereo. It's like $200 or less. I caught this on a deal for $130, so I took a gamble on it and I'm really happy that I did, and I want to share it with you guys and all the quirks and how to get this working in your Ram truck. All right, in this video, we're gonna be installing this 9-inch touchscreen Android Auto Apple CarPlay radio into our 4th gen Ram 1500. I'm pretty excited. Let's get straight into it. All right, so I'm sitting inside my 4th gen Ram 1500. This is a Laramie model, and you might be wondering, why am I taking out the factory 8.4 uconnect and putting in an aftermarket radio? Well, this is a 2016 model and it doesn't have Apple CarPlay. It doesn't have Android Auto. I'm an Apple guy, an iPhone user. And in order to get CarPlay on this, you essentially have to get a 2018 uconnect 8.4, and they go upwards of $500 to $800 just to get Apple CarPlay. You got to rewire the media center in here. You got to get different media hub in here, do a bunch of extra stuff if you can find one. And you still have to plug in a USB cable to your phone. This one is going to have wireless CarPlay. So if this works the way I'm hoping it'll work, this is going to replace this. I didn't want to get rid of my analog buttons, so we're still going to retain the stock volume knob and our tune button and all of our climate control buttons. And as you can see there, all that stuff is going to get put into this faceplate, but then it's going to give us an even bigger touchscreen and hopefully work pretty good. So there's a bunch of cables. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm going to take you guys along for the ride with me. You guys might have seen these available, and I haven't seen anybody really test one, give an honest review. My biggest thing is audio quality. I have the factory Alpine system. This sound system sounds really good. I think it's like 10 speakers. I've got speakers in the ceiling on my truck. I got subwoofers back here. It sounds amazing. So hopefully we retain our sound quality. There is a factory amplifier, so hoping that this is going to still turn on the factory amplifier and work as it should. But let's get straight into it. It's going to be an honest review. I don't get anything out of this besides your entertainment and you guys smashing the thumbs up from me going through the painstaking task of testing this stuff to see if it's worthwhile and seeing if you should maybe buy one too. So let's get into it. I'm going to be excited if it works. Let's go. So first things first, we're going to start taking off this whole bezel. If you guys do or don't know how to do that, there is 2 screws underneath this rubber here. So 2 here, and then sometimes there's one inside this cubby here. So we'll take that off, and then this bezel will be able to pop out. We might also have to pop out this here for our center console. So depending on your vehicle, if it has a center console as well, we've got some screws here. We have to take out these 2 that also hold in the bottom. So let me pop that stuff out and start getting underway. Other thing I want to show you guys too is we do have a factory reverse camera. So hopefully this all works and comes out clear. You can see that's the clarity we have right now before we do everything. So hopefully that's all going to work out on the other unit also. All right, and here we go. So the 2 Torx screws were removed from here. There's 1 Torx screw in here. You're gonna have 2 Phillips screws here, and then underneath the mat here, you're gonna have a 7mm screw. So you have to pop this out and just backwards slightly in order to be able to get this off. So this is held on by a bunch of speed clips. So you essentially have to pry it backwards. And then also gonna be clipped in here. So you can actually pop these out like so on both sides, and it'll just make your job a little bit easier to get the rest of the bezel out. So we'll pull the one off on this side too. All right, so now this should be free. And it is. So we'll get this out of the way. And I'm going to completely detach it. So we'll unplug these because we have to transfer over the bezel. So we'll get this all out of our way. But I probably want to, before I finalize things, I want to plug it in and see how it sounds. So that way I don't finalize the install before we fully get a chance to make sure that it works, because this is quite a bit of work, because we have to transfer over this whole front bezel and our climate and stereo buttons. So let's just make sure it works first. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this. So we've got 4 7mm bolts, and we'll take out our OEM unit. So the 4 screws are removed. So we're going to tip this forward, and there is a big latch right there on the factory cable. So we'll squeeze the connectors to get those off, and then the USB port and then we'll have to remove that latch to get the factory head unit out. Okay, so that's all disconnected. This is the latch that I was mentioning to you here. So you gotta squeeze on the end and then open up this little door, and then that'll come out. As for harnesses, I'm gonna go through this stuff with you guys. There's a million harnesses and not that much instruction. Okay, so what I want to go over with you guys is the cables. So I went ahead, tested it, and honestly, it took me way longer than I would have ever imagined to figure everything out. I don't know if I'm just tired today, but I'm gonna save you guys a lot of headache, I hope. So there's gonna be a ton of extra cables, and I'm gonna show you guys which ones I'm not gonna plug in. So there's these two external USB ones. If you guys want, you can, but it will actually hook up to your media center inside your center console. So in my opinion, you don't necessarily need these, but if you're looking to add additional devices, I guess you could plug these in. Me, not going to. This, some little funny looking little speaker. I don't need it beeping at me or doing anything weird, so I am not going to install this. So that one's going to go off to the side. These two, I'm going to install them once it gets back to the vehicle. So our GPS antenna, that screws into this little red cap right here. So this little red cap pops off. GPS antenna is going to screw in right there. Our lavalier mic, I do actually have another video for you guys. I'll link it above here for you as well. I did have to go in and make an internal modification to this because there's a microphone on the front of this, and when you plug this mic in, there's no way to disengage the front microphone, so you end up with a really bad echo. So I found some other videos of some people that had these Android head units and they had to physically go in and disable the front microphone, so I have a separate video for you guys on that. But essentially this microphone is going to plug right into where it says mic, and your factory microphones, because obviously this came out of a Laramie, they don't use them, so we gotta put this somewhere. But the factory microphones on my Laramie truck never really sounded that good, so I'm hoping I'm gonna try out this little microphone that they include. I might get a better one, but either way we'll be able to try to improve on our wireless. What you're gonna end up doing, see this wire right here? So this says cam CVBS plus. This is coming from your camera, your factory camera from the rear. So you're gonna see all these other ones, and I got confused because I saw CVBS and this says CVBS. So I tried plugging it into this one, CVBS, and it wouldn't work. So what you have to do is there's this tiny little pigtail here, and it says camera in. So make sure you plug it into this pigtail. It says camera in, and it also has your camera output. So make sure you plug this CVBS from this big connector here into this camera in, the one that goes into this little connector, and that's what's going to give you your backup camera. So I had to figure that out. Also, there is a plug from this unit. So this is your canbus communicator. This is what makes all of your other functions on the vehicle work, your steering wheel, all of your HVAC controls, and gives it the integration between the two. You'll see this little pigtail. Make sure you plug it right in here. So this is your CAN wire that goes into the unit. If you don't plug this in, none of that stuff is going to work. I was fighting with it forever. Realized there was this little clip here that needed to be plugged in. If you don't plug this into there, it's not going to work. So make sure you plug that in. And then last but not least, we've got our antenna wire. So this antenna wire, this is going to plug into our factory antenna on the vehicle. So this converts it from just a regular standard stereo antenna into the same plug that's on our Ram. So those are all those. And then what I'm going to do now is we're going to go ahead and put it on the bezel. So we've got to do a million screws to get this onto our bezel for our Ram. So let's get that done now. Okay, so here is our bezel. You're going to see a million screws here. So we're going to go ahead and just go around the perimeter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, probably more. But I'm just going to start unscrewing all these. I guess we got 12s, 13 as well. Let me get them all out. I'll show you guys which ones I remove, and then we'll be able to drop that faceplate out. All right, and screws are all out. So that is that portion of it. So we'll put this off to the side for a second. We got to swap over our knobs and our module here. All right, so next up, there's a series of T10 Torx screws here. And then there's also a clip here and a clip on this side here. We've got to release those in order to get this thing off, because normally it's not really meant to come off, but obviously we have to transfer everything. But it does hold everything on here. Yep, that is how you get them off. That is not easy, you guys. Yep. Holy crap. That's a bit of a tall order, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, there is these clips right here that you have to lift. So you gotta lift these tabs while simultaneously pressing it out. And you have to do that through, there's a window right here and a window right there. And that's how you get the knobs off. So let me do the other one. Okay, so once we pull those two knobs off, then that comes out of there. I think we might have to transfer this ring over. Yeah. So there's also this little glow ring that we're gonna have to pop out. That's kind of like our ambient lighting on our stuff here. Okay, there's one little ring. Let's make sure that pops into this. And it does. That's a good sign at least. A nice click. And we gotta take out this one too. Ow! Okay, there's that one, popped it out. Alright, there's that. I don't know if it's just because it's cold here in Florida right now. It's like 40 degrees right now. But that did not feel nice. Okay, so now we should be able to slide this back in. Alright, that seems pretty good. It's a nice little fit. And now we have to pop these knobs back on. So volume knob and the orientation right there. And then obviously the clips. We'll have to get the clip in the right position. Alright. Not bad. So you have to line up the peg right here with the lines on here also. So you'll see like there's a little ramp. I don't know if you guys will see that. It's a little ramp for it to kind of guide it up to. So just make sure that you get that on there. Oh, there's also, I don't know if I just got lucky on that one or not, but I don't know if you guys will be able to see that honestly. There's a peg inside here and it actually lines up with this dent right there. So hopefully I got that one right. Man, couldn't have just made it go on any which way, could they? I don't know if I just got lucky on this one, but seems fine. Alright, so our two knobs are on. So now I'm going to flip this back over. Probably should take the wires off, but I don't feel like it. Now we're going to put this cover back on. And we'll tighten down our T10s again. Okay, so that's all on. The other thing we got to do is see these little orange things here. We got to transfer those over onto these pegs because this is what holds it in place and prevents everything from squeaking. So I'm gonna pop these little orange quick release tabs off. Jeez. All right. So have fun with those, but those are gonna come off and then go right there. All right, so next up, we're gonna lay this in here. So probably should be part of the easier things to do on this whole install. So we're gonna tuck that up and in, and that will go down. And now we're gonna put in all of our Phillips screws. I think there's 13 of them, but just go around the perimeter, put all these guys in. Okay, so got all those screws in there, and fit and finish is really nice, you guys. So this came out really good. I still haven't pulled off the plastic cover here, so don't mind all the smudges. It's still got the plastic protectant on it, but now we can go ahead and get this installed onto our truck. All right, so we're back here in the truck. I want to show you guys a couple things here. So let's just run through it quick. So we've got our antenna wire that goes from here to the white. We've got our USB cable plugged in, so this goes to our media center. It plugs into here, goes into there. That's for the USB in our center console. What else? we've got our GPS antenna. What I did was, if you ever looked at the factory Charger Challenger stuff, the GPS antenna is actually right underneath the dashboard. So I put the GPS antenna, it's got, some of them come with a magnet. This one didn't, it had double-sided tape. So I stuck it on top of this plastic vent, so it's right underneath there. I don't really use that function, to be honest with you, but if you want it, it's going to be working. And then what else? Make sure, like I said, your camera in wire is plugged in. So that goes from here. Camera in is going to come from this one labeled CAN CVBS. So this comes out of here. It's these wires actually right here on the corner. Comes from here. That comes from your factory reverse camera. Goes into there. So make sure that is plugged in. That's most of it, I think. The other thing I wanted to show you guys too is, where is it? I'm going to bundle all these up because this is just insane, the amount of excess wire. I'm not putting that little horn thing in. If you guys want to try it, small horn interface, I am not going to. So this here for our mic, what I'm actually going to do is I want to install one of these extension cables. So I'll link this down below as well. It's a 3-foot extension. I'm going to put this down here, and then I want to make it accessible under here. Reason being is because obviously this is a big process to get the head unit out. I want to test several different microphones. So the original microphone, I called my buddy Roman to see how the audio quality was. He said it was okay, it was passable, but I actually went and purchased additional microphones. So you can plug in any 3.5mm microphone. So I want to try out and test out a few different microphones so I can get the best Bluetooth wireless hands-free calling. So in order to do that, I'm going to make it so that I can disconnect it down below so I don't have to keep taking this out every time. So I'm going to put this extension in here, route it over here. I'll also give you guys my findings on what the best microphone is. Right now I have it just stuck here, but I don't think it's the ultimate placement. It looks really goofy there. Might try to hide it somewhere up here, run it around, but I do want to test which one works the best first before I ultimately decide. So anyways, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to bundle this up. I'll show you guys, and then we can click this back in. One other thing I'm doing too is I'm putting the original 4 screws back in here in case I ever want to go back to a uconnect, which I might do in the future here for you guys. I want to make sure I have these weird unique screws so that I don't lose them. So I'm going to put these back in. They're not used with the new unit, but that way I have them for placeholders later. Okay, one last thing, I promise. So I ended up bundling all this junk up, but this thing here, see how right here it says Simple Soft? I don't know if you guys will see that right on there. It says Simple Soft on this box. This is important because I'll show you guys in the settings afterwards. If for some reason it doesn't work, this is the module that goes between the system's CAN bus and the stereo. And if this isn't configured properly, then none of your steering wheel functions or your controls or anything will pop up on here. So again, see if maybe yours is a different brand, but Simple Soft is going to make sense in a second when I show you one of the settings. So I'm going to tuck all this back in here. I've got my extension for my microphone up here. I might put one more tie wrap on this and then tuck all this junk in here somehow. As for my microphone, I chose to just put it right here, kind of in this black portion of the windshield so you can't even see it. So it's right there, and then I tucked it in through here, down there, through here. I popped off this panel, brought it through the kick panel, and then I do have that extension down here so that I can try out some different microphones. So I'm going to be making a separate video for you guys on different microphones that I've tested out. The one that I found works best is here, so you'll have to wait for that video, but obviously you can get it working with the microphone that it came with. All right, so one of my biggest pet peeves with the old system is it would take forever to connect to my phone. So now that the install is fully done on the unit, I want to show you guys hopping in here. Truck is completely off, and here's my cell phone. So as soon as we hit accessory, it boots up pretty fast, and then I'll show you guys how fast it is to wirelessly pair with CarPlay or Android Auto. So it boots up, and within 30 seconds, I don't even think it's gonna be that much, it'll just pop up. It shows this little picture of a car, and then there you go. So we are wirelessly paired and ready to go. You can do all your usual stuff, all your apps and all your stuff are here. So everything's there, and let me show you guys quickly how it works. I'm going to go into more details on a more in-depth video on some of the settings and stuff, but I want to show you guys a couple things to get you guys running, and then I'll give you guys a more thorough review on the actual unit in another video. So I want to show you guys the buttons all work for my steering wheel. So volume up, volume down on the back here. You can see here it corresponds on the radio. Our next buttons, all that works. And then here's our volume here. So this is our factory control unit. Our volume here works, and our skip track, that one also works as well. If I click over one to the run position, I'll let this finish beeping for a second here. But all of our HVAC stuff pops up here, and when you make a change on your HVAC, it shows over here, which is actually nice that it pops up quickly like that, because I don't think, or don't remember that the last one actually would show right away. I think you had to be in the climate screen to actually show your HVAC settings. So this one, you know, all your temperature stuff. One word of caution though, you guys, I'm noticing is I would, before you do your final assembly, it looks like I'm gonna have to take this apart and clearance the plastic a little bit, because my cold button, my down button here, it's getting stuck. So it's getting stuck or hung up on maybe a little plastic burr on there. So just be aware of that, because I'm probably gonna have to pop this out and just probably clearance that a little bit. But I mean, this thing was cheap, you guys. I caught this on sale for I think 130 bucks, so I can't complain. If it's not working, I want to show you guys this real quick. So we're gonna go to the home screen, and if I'm going too fast for you guys, just go ahead and rewind the video. So car settings, it might look different. There's all sorts of templates that you can see here. Then you're gonna go to factory. The passcode is all zeros, so I think it's like 6 zeros. Enter, and then you're gonna see here car type setting. Remember when I showed you guys earlier that simple soft, that's the canbus thing? Because it took me a while to figure this out. I'm like, what the heck are all these Chinese names like Hua Chen and all these, you know, Chinese words? But you're gonna see here simple soft. You're gonna click on simple soft. Then you're obviously gonna check your vehicle. So you're gonna look for your vehicle. They kind of mixed Chrysler and Jeep in the same one, but go Chrysler, Jeep. And then you're gonna see all of these models. So of course for us here, you're gonna see here Jeep _ XP10 2014 to 2018 Ram 1500. That's the one that I have right here. So that's the one that I've selected. And that is giving it the proper protocol to make sure all your buttons and HVAC stuff all talks to this and communicates with it. So if you're finding that that stuff doesn't work, go in here and you're gonna set that, click the appropriate one, and then you're all set. As far as other quick settings, can related settings, so you can set a bunch of different stuff. I turned off this one. It's kind of, you know, translated English. That's not the greatest, but I mean, for the value you're getting for the money, I don't think you can complain. So dynamic reversing auxiliary line, I turned that off. So close means off, open means on. Don't ask me why, it just is what it is. But that was, there was like another stack of lines when I was reversing that were on here. So I ended up turning those off. You guys can go through the settings, turn on or turn off, whatever you please. Okay, and here's the backup camera, you guys. So the dynamic steering still works. So you can see there, it's moving the lines same way the factory uconnect worked. And image quality is good. This is what it looks like in the dark. And then I brought it into the shop, and this is what it looks like in the shop. So can't complain. I don't think it's any different than the original uconnect, but backup camera works, and it's plugged into the factory harness. All right, so as far as sound quality, you guys, I'm happy to say that it actually is better than the uconnect. Yes, I know. I didn't get paid to buy this. I bought this thing with my own money. That was my biggest concern, was that the sound quality wasn't going to be as good, at least, as the uconnect. The way I can best describe it right now, and like I said, I'll do more reviews for you guys, but I just want to give you guys my quick impression on this. It came out to like 130 bucks with some sort of rebate that there was. So I don't know if the rebate's still going to be there when you guys go to buy it, but the sound quality is much clearer. And then you guys know when you turn up the volume on the stock system, how it kind of reaches a certain limit where nothing really happens. Like I want to say from like 2/3 of the volume level up to full, it's like, it doesn't seem to make a difference on the knob. It doesn't get louder and just kind of sounds really flat and muddy. This will actually continue to get louder. So my bass gets louder, my volume gets louder, and I'm actually able to crank it enough to actually start distorting the speakers. So tons of volume, tons of clarity, and it doesn't sound so muddied like the stock system does. So it is still running through the factory amplifier too. So still running through the factory amp, powering all the speakers, and sounds good. So I will link this product down in the description below for you guys. So if you guys have the same one that I have, where you've got this automatic climate, or if you've got the 3 round knobs, you have the more basic one, they make the exact same thing for either climate control. So I will link both different ones depending on which model you guys have. But overall, for the price, to be able to have wireless CarPlay or Android Auto, I think it's a huge plus for us, you guys. I didn't want to go and spend $500 to $800 trying to do it the factory way and then still end up with a slow, laggy system and still have to plug the cable in. You guys got to remember, even if you upgrade to the 2018 uconnect, you still have to plug the cable in to get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, whereas this is wirelessly connecting, and you guys saw how fast it's connecting. So super happy with the results. Also, I did dial in the hands-free, but you guys will have to check out the other video if you guys want to improve the setup. I'll try to learn this a little bit more and see what other kind of cool things I can do with it. We could probably change the home screen, make it look a little nicer too, so I'll keep you guys updated with that. But if you guys enjoyed this video, you found it helpful or informative, make sure you give it a thumbs up for me. It's free. It helps support more videos like this in the future. And if you guys are interested, I will link the product down below that I use. Like I said, I paid for this with my own money, but I'm super happy that I did, because for 130 bucks that I got it on sale, I couldn't be happier for the results. So thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the next video.